A list of impaired waters. Capillaries on the water body map, broken from Bacon Creek to Sweetwater, ecoregion 67F crisscrossing ecoregion 71G, Bledsoe County, Bledsoe tributaries. Alston, Anderson, Arnaud, Bagwell, Braden, Carroll, Collins, Cummings, Davis, Dyer, Eaton, Ewing, Finch, Gammon, Hickman, Howard, Mathis, Melton, Mill, Mitchell, Odell, Reed, Rutherford, Scutts, Spencer, Stewarts, Shugs, Taylor. Creeks, among others, namesaked for neighbors nowhere to be found on cleanup, August 4th, from noon to 4. The afternoon otherwise spent getting haircuts, writing poems about scuba diver-sized catfish in the Cumberland River, buying school notebooks on tax-free weekend, drinking transparent soft drinks with honey-sweetened pretzels, a bottle of narcotics dissolving in the valley. Too late, they figure, when they figure. There are things we don't talk about, bodies and what they do sliding toward each other, greasy as candle wicks, the stink of mine drainage in the North Chickamauga, a knot of engine parts and spring-shot sofa cushions, the color of Pangaea pulling itself back together. Nothonotus Wapiti. There are folks who would die if moved to a nearby city. Absurdly, they know when other members of their species leave after high school, thrive, not to try a similar relocation themselves. For a while, they're pushed and prompted as if it were a matter of courage. Then the questions are dropped. They buy 10 country acres where buzzards circle a Victorian, built in the 1800s, on a foundation of locust logs, plow a garden, stack a cord of woods out back, mate. Still, they find it hard to grasp how a darter can specialize its number of diagonal scales to fit the southern bend of Richland Creek at County Road 4209, so well that to adapt to any other habitat would be to become something else. The wavy, copper-colored lines of its cheeks, such a match to the fast-flowing Giles County freshwater, ichthyologists recognize it as a new species, by chance, just before extinction. Their distinguishing yellow-spotted fins waving like flags from a porch or hands. But this one is called Habitat. Mac and Polly cling to the mountainside, sphagnum moss on an abalone camper. Their father collects disability. They are ingenious manipulators of flag girls in parking lots, track stars in waffle joint back booths, French fryers in Ferris wheel top buckets. At home, unable to avoid introducing them to pudding on the sofa, their young mother who makes them pretend she's their sister. Mud puppies cut through a school of crappies, push the shallows, sprout toes sensitive as tentacles on a slug's head, ascend the muck thin-skinned as newborns, or did back then. Of course, Mac will grow up, start a tree-trimming business, meet Scotty, who isn't afraid of his wolf pup or long silences. how a hard storm closes their exit. Imperiled water shrews and hellbender playthings give her something to lose in that nothing much mobile. A freshwater turtle she feeds periodically, a handful of cereal that crackles when wet like maggots. Do you want to move someplace else? Mac asks after lovemaking, her nape wet, fan blades slowing with her pulse. Eddie has a body shop in Lafayette. Scotty pulls a squirrel's tail curl through a hairbrush she keeps near the bed like all Perry women. Away from here, I wouldn't know what it looks like to be happy, she says. I would test it, the way a girl will suffer her love to prove his love real. Wouldn't hear the morning dove or see the blazing star nod its fandango ascent from a far field. No, it's better to know chorus frogs are in danger, the lake sturgeon almost lost. What are those creatures to me I cannot be sorry never to have seen? Aegistrata, your exoskeleton's polished metal acid trip mirror reflects bug-eyed cousins whose profit margins differ markedly from your gland get-up's luminous beauty. 70s disco gypsy, otherworld holdover, come to show earthlings how to shimmer and shake our pygidia. Groove on, multiplicity's iris-dilating orchestra. Fanny Howe's bees, tremulous. Static sweeps a lone briz past, a buzz without a wee, a zilch. Before 10:50, a beh, a beta, a beige, a binny, fainter by the minute, a sun-kissed fuzzed honey hex that can't be passed. Not this summer will we scale back, when we just got that poolside cup with its slick lip of caramel sweat. Murky. Dark tick of ice cap melt butters red clay into river mud, trash bags stuffed with plastic collared squid. The meme dots six-pack wrap we cut and crush, peppers to our chest spritzed with systemic neonics, words we don't know to distrust. Dread. A meeting room dynamic shifts before a woman eyeballing not a bee, but an insect evolved to stop pests and herself epipennless. What we can see to correct, we face uncertain whose place it is to act. We sit with the wasp, motionless, track its whereabouts. A family flagging mother on the internet, back from deployment, holding her own in an Iron Man, them no readier than last time for her absence. Estranged. A beekeeper hums to keep companionable grit in back of the throat. A wine-wet wheat berry chewed soft. The sky gone, we went to the Superdome after the flood like an ark. Mouth to Headwaters. The thin creek bride moon is a slick one, likes her solitude and pulls her bedroom door to, slips into the barred owl's hooded eyes. There is no pressure, water in its acquiescence does not know. The utterly unambitious race of leaf over leaf, attraction to what cannot be held. The owl blinks like an eclipse or a cloud passing in front of a man, looking into the distance at himself in time, In one eye, obvious as grit, is fear of loss. In the other, a blue hook, half the shape of a heart. The Farmhand. Shirt tail cascading like cloven hooves, trampling a mountain aflame with drought. The man in the would-be grass walks, a bag of nickels being dropped atop a spring-loaded shotgun. Speaks so rarely he might be a colloidal plate awaiting an imprint of 100 thrushes exiting a lake named for the seldom-seen swan. This is a little one. Feather wings. Beetles small enough to enter a fungus spore are hidden among us, without lenses, depicted in drawings to comfort introvert experts on websites. Wells Creek Basin. Between 100 and 200 million years ago, a meteor plowed 2,000 feet into the Wells Creek area, sent out shatter cones. Pocked a 4-mile-wide crater drilled by NASA, moon scientists, and later visited by bank tellers and dentists trying to save their family the uncertain impact of divorce. Shatter cones seam shock lines fine as hair strands, petrify velocity geologists who would use to determine the 36,000 miles per hour speed when the meteor struck. Sudden blossom of molten limestone, silt lotus, earth splash. The planet's face, breakable as a bucket of water set down in a living room to catch shocks of rainwater. Small garden where seeds flower at once, change like a girl stopped mid-row to fondle the pink, like a girl stopped mid-cornrow to fondle the pink earrings she plants. Bloody-nosed Beetle, stopped in his heathland trek, explains intimacy to a Welsh boy who thinks he found a pet. I will never be your dog, boy, nor my spit a trick you can master, nor come loping dumb across goose grass to lick sweat or tears from silt's soft flesh. Won't scratch a post with dew-beaded tarsi, bat a tuft of crochet mouse, swim to your finger, nibble an extended biscuit, make puppy eyes at you, across hedgerows with ultraviolet lenses you don't know to envy. Defenses spring eternal, claws, clicks, self-burial, see my carmine drop about to drip. You who run to middle school bathrooms, hands fluttering like killdeer away from the nest, your smirch begging Oxford, so ready to disappoint mother. I know you. Look how a miniature pointillist portrait spatters your cupped hand, the expression on your face of curious terror that would cast me far from you. This one is Dickinson's Bees. Happy. Whistle once and bumbles flee the dark belt of a note. Zest is kin to this. Rot, hen of the woods, mushrooms, fruit. A lark is not bee, but part of the park bees keep up. Joyful. One never grows allergic to shy, wooded avenue figures, inclined to vanish when presence becomes overbearing as mastiffs bounding leashless to scatter leaf piles. Who wouldn't want to be swept, honey-fueled, over singed earth, blown cool with impending winter breezes, your dearest knitting golden groceries around you? Sublime. A dianthus may disappoint after April's dame rocket stopovers, yet the queen knows a sensation drones miss. Between each hill of breath lie clearings they never notice in flight, where nothing vies for more attention than her increated self. Excited. Hives begin as cavity, a trunk coated with propolis, then a queen sniffed, after which eggs never stop bobbing forth, gumballs at a factory of chewing workers, wadding saliva-sticky pieces, pollen beating against clover-fueled chests, throbbing engines whose tanks will never run out. In that place. To paint one rose equals a life in that place. 1. Backhoe operator shaves a beard of snow with a bucket razor, the one of several state employees who leaves the cleanest neckline, trims hoary hairs and a cleft chin, misses nothing, no grizzled dimple, icy washboard. A tender develops tenderness for the land, his jackdaw body singing in the cab. When a plot comes up for sale, he purchases it, pulls an articulated arm through the dirt, breaking ground, looks inside her hills. 2. The Cambrian earth populated the ocean with a sophisticated visual system of some 15,000 lenses in a single eye. Trilobites saw depth of field through stone, calcite inner cells of their scopes visible in a CT scan, magnified a diamond, shaped photoreceptor surrounded by petals, a fossilized flower before the terrestrial world evolved flowers. For over 270 million years they proliferated, eye stalks to see above mud, shades for light-dappled trawlers, a long love doing with the sea what sex does, antenna diddling the floor. 3. A radiologist scrutinizes internal borders on silver-impregnated films, is paid handsomely for differentiating pre-invasive lesions from ground glass nodules, lives on the same dirt road as the backhoe operator, throws up a hand when they pass door to handled door, eyes in the same meeting place on their faces. 4. Horsetail lines the neighborhood stream, living fossil, the only remaining member of the genus Equisetum. Silicates on bristles, scouring rush for tin cups, the understory of Paleozoic forests. Their moisture-sensitive springs disperse spores instead of seed when the sack splits like a hose full of silt, half buried in the garden, duct tape raveling around its toffee mouth. 5. Blighted chestnuts recover on suburban lawns, sheep's legs taper pencil point wicks in the cool tallow of alfalfa. Blood moon nails over an oil pan. It's called The Long Timer. No endurance run outpaces leafcutter ants, month-long 4-minute mile marathons, or outnumbers pupae laved and licked before another virgin queen emerges and workers die ignobly, second only to human deforesters burning Amazon basin tracts like cherry Victorian love seats for timber. Except those preppers carpet gardens in biohazard swabbing fungi, knit filamentous frost under which spit-oiled strike wheels clock distant winds. Thank you.